Welcome. In this video, I want to talk about a crucial mindset shift that made me wealthy, which is what do you value more, your time or your money? And the best mental frame to think about this is that your actions will always give you the answer. So the best way to explain this concept is to unpack what caused me to change my mind about investing in coaching. Now, 7 years ago, I was 24 years old and I wanted to become a coach for the lifestyle it could give me, how I could start helping people, and then obviously making the money I could actually make. But I still didn't trust coaches in general. I was conflicted about my path and I'd heard all the bad things about coaches, but put it simply, I was at this place where I was thinking they were just con artists, but secretly I envied the life that they seemed to be able to create. So I didn't truly believe yet that I could make it work, but others were making it work, that I could actually genuinely create this positive impact they were creating. But here's what happened to me. So a year before I started my business, I was age 24 and I was working as a massage therapist 7 days a week across 3 separate clinics, 8 to 10 hours a day. And I was taking home $4K per month. And at first I was working, I was exhausted, my shoulders and my back were kind of blowing out at that stage. And some people will have to do that starting out, but stay with me for the context. So it was just me. I didn't pay anyone to help me make more money. I just spent all the other hours consuming personal development content, YouTube videos, free courses, read over 40 books. I was trying to solve my business problems just enough to try and get a bit of money so I could invest in someone. But I never actually put any of it into practice. I tried for so long to try and figure it out, how to get started. Should I do it this way, that way, what this person's saying, asking lots of people in my life, trying to get free advice from people. Some people would even work for free in my business. What ended up happening was I just got into analysis paralysis. And so I became stuck. I always had a lot going on in life and I was always waiting for the right time to make big moves. And I always felt like I had too many things happening with the mindset that someday things would calm down enough and I would then be able to do the big things I always wanted. Then when I turned 25, I got sick of waiting and I paid 4K. At this stage, I treated investing as, I will put in a bit more up front because I was sick of the pain. I was willing to put a little bit more to see results. And 1 year later, I made $32,000. And that reflected my own level of investment and comfort level with risk. So 24 months later, I invested another $90,000 and I made 400K. And now I'm not telling you this as if you should give someone $90,000, you get 400K. What I'm saying is that if you crunch the numbers, without investing that money, I would have had to work 100 months or 8 years to make that same money without a miracle happening. And at this stage, I learned the true meaning of you get out what you put in, but you have to put in first. And I realized I had been trying to solve just 1 or 2 things to make cash flow happen, but cash flow happens because of multiple different things, 5, 6 things happening well at once. And I just was thinking I didn't want to lose out on this little bit of cash, but what I was really losing out on every single month was much more than that. But I still wouldn't do something about my situation, and that was the real catch-22. Not only that, but if I hadn't invested that $90,000, I would have lost out on that 400K a year. So if you then take the life of my business at this stage today, which is 6 years, if I'd waited another 6 years, then I would have lost $2.4 million, even if I didn't make anything more per year. And if you take that a step further, because I didn't invest in myself when I was 18 years, 6 years before being 24, I actually had already lost $2.4 million already, which would mean I would have lost $4.8 million today. Now, it's easy for me to think, if I'm in my shoes at 24, at the start of my journey, it's okay if I don't invest. Why is that? Because the growth hasn't happened yet. And that is the thinking any entrepreneur needs to run away from by any means necessary. That lost money is called opportunity cost. Okay, that's why it's underlined in red. It's what is lost for that time that has passed. And so here's the thing that you have to think about. If you do what I did and you try to work it out all on YouTube, doing Google searches, trying to work out all on your own, help people to work with you for free, performance basis, so you'll never actually spend the meaningful time moving the needle. You're always going to be trying to figure out how it works and what to do, but check out the cost. So let's say you get on a call and you're in the same situation, right? You are making 4K a month. And most people, what they do is they say, well, I can't afford to, let's say if it was 4K and then if it was like 11K, I only make 4K a month. I can't afford 11K. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep trying to figure it out on my own, get some cash together or save up. But that's a problem because the person's development becomes what's called arrested. So what that means is they become a closed loop. Okay. so P for person. They don't have any new inputs disrupting the results they're creating, so they actually just cannot create better results. So let's crunch the numbers. You have 4K coming in a month, but the only thing is saving up, making some more money. But we have rent, which is 2K. We have food and bills, which is $500. We have social events, $200. That leaves you with about $1,300 per month left. So what you say is, okay, then I will have to then just save up for it. Let's do the maths here. That will take you 7 months. And here's the thing, life happens. The car needs to get fixed, $2,000. Rent increase, $600. Sickness, $200. Taxes, $800. Vacation, $900. And all the rest gets chewed up. So you can see that based on these numbers, you're not going to be able to get that 1 or 2 steps ahead, figuring it out on your own, because to figure it out on your own enough to generate that 11K, even that 4K would mean needing to make a lot more money. And if you haven't been able to do that in the past without any new inputs, how would you do that in the future? So something actually needs to change. And this is a hard truth for many people because it involves going outside of the comfort zone, okay, what we're comfortable with. But only when we go outside of that comfort zone can we actually experience something that is far greater than what we are currently experiencing inside it. So I get it. I was a massage therapist. I was making 4K a month. I know this, it stings sometimes to hear this. And I understand the frustration of that position because, I've been there in that catch-22, but it's only frustrating if you resist what needs to be done to change it. And the fact is, when we don't have a lot of money, we focus on holding on to what we have and playing it safe and spending a lot of time to earn more. And the fact is, this is what's keeping us in the position we're in. This is the problem mindset. Without getting too fluffy about it, an abundant bank account reflects an abundant mindset. And I wish someone unpacked this truth for me starting out, but they never did. And that's why I lost $2.4 million from the age 18 to 24. But then even at 24, I was still saying to myself, I'll just save up for it. And then at the end of each month, I'd have nothing left. So what happened is I got to the age of 25 and then I just realized I had to do something different. And that's why I put down the 4K. So something I want you to understand is that if money is a replenishable resource, but time is not, then time is your most valuable asset. And if we live on average, to the age of 80, every year you live, you're wasting time. You're losing tons of money. Because what most people think about is, I try so hard to save this money and investing in my business is a cost. Instead of, how much money am I going to lose if I don't invest in my business? I'm no psychology professional, but what I've learned after helping so many people is that the reality is, as humans, we stay at a certain level because we take the life that we deeply want as a negotiable thing, as something that would be nice to have, because it isn't actually happening yet. We don't associate not having it every month as something we lose. Now, the same goes here. In hindsight, I can't regret what I didn't know investing in myself at 18 because I didn't know about it. But even then, I still treat it as having lost millions because of that delay. And so the big mindset shift I had, which is what I recommend you have, is to start shifting from a lack-based mindset, which is focused on holding on to the little we have and saying, I can't afford this and I'm going to go and keep trying to make things happen, even though they haven't in the past, to an abundance-based mindset, which is I'm going to try and figure out how to get the money, how to get this together so that I can make the growth that I really need, because this goal is worth it to me. That's what it means to really be able to coach yourself into your goals. So I hope this video was helpful and I'll catch you guys in the next one.